And welcome back to Let's Play The Elder Scrolls Online, Episode 13. It's Brazen Portals. So I assume this has like a couple delve things. I saw that it and definitely probably a trial. I think trials are the equivalent to the raids in this game. 2, 3, 4, 5. 9 minutes, huh? Is Meridia the goddess, or the Daedra Prince of Time, rather? The goddess. Remember, this world has, like, goddesses and, you know, the 8 divines and all that. Plus lesser things, which are really the only ones you ever hear about. Then Akatosh. I don't even know any of the other 8 divines other than Akatosh. Wait, what is this lever control? You know what? This is probably a vault door. Probably gonna... I mean, the thing's named, so... Old Varuma. Eventually we'll get there, I'm sure.
And just as I promised, my assistant arrives. You brought a gift for our sponsor, right?
Yes, I did.
Greeting, Auxiliary. Is your friend correct? Did you bring an offering?
Hey, explosive oil harvested from dangerous firepot spiders.
Firepot oil. Tremendous. And you managed to keep all 10 fingers. I'm impressed. Thank you. Now, to the matter of your citizenship. You're clearly a capable warrior. But in the Clockwork City, mental precision is of paramount importance.
Can I prove my mental fitness?
A number of outsiders have gone missing in recent weeks. I fear someone might be abducting them, or worse. But I have no proof. I spoke to your friend Naramo, and he insists you can gather the evidence I need. Succeed, and I'll sponsor you all.
Alright, Naramo and I will find the proof you need.
Try to keep this inquiry quiet, all right? In the Clockwork City, even a small creak in the gears can draw curious eyes.
What can you tell me about these disappearances?
Very little, which is more problematic than it sounds. Any loose cog can carry out an abduction. It doesn't take a criminal mastermind to throw someone down a drain pipe. What worries me is that none of it was recorded by factotums or sentry coils.
What happens in the streets?
We record what happens everywhere. Honestly, I don't know how you exodromals do without. You lose so much in Tamriel. Knowledge, memories, and you must argue incessantly. Everything that happens here is fact. Documented and verifiable.
Wait, exo what?
Exodromal. Sorry, I forget how strange our words sound to foreign ears. Anyone who enters the Clockwork City from the outside world is known as an exodromal, since they come from beyond the Celestiodrome, the glass sphere you'd call our sky.
Well, externals would take issue with being watched all the time, I guess.
Know. But secrets are the purview of Lord Set, and Lord Set alone. I have nothing to hide. The sermons tell us that only the disassembled engine can be scrubbed and made clean. Knowledge requires light, openness, collaboration, you see?
Yep. I mean, just don't watch us while we're taking showers and whatnot, okay? They're bookshelves. Yeah. Study of Fabricants by Andrissel Naturalist. Possibly futile quest to find my place in natural strand in a world natural limited dangerous field of studying. Trust me, I tell you it's danger from my past civilization took me to quite hazardous locales. Study the fearsome Senchi tigers lurking in the green depths of Grotwood. I'll track the deadly behemoths through the poisonous swamps of Murkmire. I've researched the horrid frost trolls prowling the icy mists of each March mountains, so believe me when I tell you the Fabricants of the Clockwork Sea are some of the most dangerous creatures I've ever attempted to observe. Fabricant is unique to the biome of Clockwork City, and I thank Ariul every day that they're not able to spread their evil through Tamriel. I thought you liked these things. These unwholesome creatures of beasts and machines stalk the plains and ravines of this counterfeit world's wasteland. Given many gruesome variants and all present dangers to the warrior traveler, and make no mistake, they will kill any intruder in sight. This Fabricant is like any creature I've seen before, smaller than many monstrous beings in Tamriel, but it's also quick. Fast and agile creature attacks with metal claws resembling small size, or an horn protruding from its snout. Its lithe form means that it is able to follow you in small space, and trust me when I say that these creatures are relentless in their hunt. Next time, Fabricant is far from familiar. Still shudder when I feel its lifeless, its eyes upon me. It's covered in brass, its back legs replaced entirely with metal limbs. Its gouging snout now has the edge of a blade. Given time, this creature will build up energy to produce a scalding beam. Seeing flesh melt and mirror die after being struck by it. The Fabricant was obviously modeled off the Thunderbug, though why so the Sills thought that this already dangerous creature needed metallic updates, I'll never know. Its cuddling legs have been replaced by metal limbs, and its lightning attacks seen in a greater force than I've ever seen in nature. So the counterparts, the creature is aggressive and will attack on sight. Caution should be taken when you see this monster in the wild. These amalgamations of nature and unnatural. That's why these were created and why they were created by the Clockwork God himself. Why would Sothasil willingly to bring about such a monster in the existence of Nirn? Let me to believe that few are courageous enough to ask him. There's something experiment gone wrong, or guards protect his precious experiments. And for existence, Fabricants remain a real, very real threat within the walls of this world prison. Constantly continuously their existence is best not to avoid, escape, and perhaps even put an end to their miserable existence. Much doubt to absentee Father Mystery will even notice my attempts with mass he's run his own city. I thought you were like, oh, this is great. Wait. I can just take everything, apparently. Alright then. Truth and Sequence, Volume 11. Taken from the sermons of Deldris Marvan, 4th Turbulent, and the mainspring Everwound. By the word, I wind the gears. He whispers your puerile laments. Even here in the Clockwork City, bathed in oil of his divine wisdom, you cry out, where are the soft grasses and babbling creeks? Where are the heady wines and rich fruits? Where are the gentle rains and sighing boughs? And swinging mushrooms like hungry babes you weep? Where is the real? Ease your bellows and steady your gears. Gaze now upon the brass-wrought truth. See the real final anu and see. What makes the thing real? Is it blood or the sap or the beating heart? Is it the shrieking trauma of an infant's birth? The low roar of the tides? The roots thirst? Water the lazy drift in distant clouds? No, child of Set. The words in sequence. Can you not see that the fears spring from Lorcan's lies? Soft forms the general covers you covered are not but corded lies. Fractured creation of Spinacia that deadens the soul's forgotten pain. No still Sacred City now our application, you ask? A Nirn in miniature? Hear this, ash child. Clockwork City is no mere simulacrum. The copper leaves and sculpted hills are not Nirn's resemblance, but Nirn's refinement. Worldly forms made whole by the steady hand of the mainspring Everwound. Everwound, it's not Everwound. The glorious unity of Tamriel final demands convergence. I don't really see mirror machine made whole. Nature and engineering made whole. Past and the future made whole. In time all Nirn shall be pressed and fired in this forge that sets blessed imaginings. Weighed and measured upon the nameless scales. Is it not the real? Is this not the redemption of the Arara's sins? See now the imperfect forms of the Nirn prior. Cheap and hollow falsehoods that masquerade in nature's splendor. Yeah, the dry hard places child of Set. Anoint your tongue with his oil. Your stomach was a nourishing grain. Cast out what was Fix your eyes upon the nerd to come, upon Tamriel final, unknown at sea. The words I wind the gears. Oh. Oh, you're just telling me what's next. Oh, I see. Ooh. I see. We will probably never get this stuff then. Death Part 2. Evidence of Moragtong's expertise. Fascination seems scarcely necessary. It's someone escaping a murder attempt by them are always remarkable and rare. Yet they were and are patient, capable murderers who use their tools well. And when a letter found among the effects of well-known armor has been sealed in their vaults for some time. It was likely penned by an unknown Tong assassin, ordering weapons for his orders. For some illumination into what they look for in the blades, as well as the mention of Vonra, one of the Tong sent its agents in retirement. Imagine the artistry and the balance and FD daggers, and the knife blade is whisper thin, only raw but impractical. It must have a bolder edge for arteries when cut, as it is self-sealed, preventing adequate blood loss. I'll be leaving Venera in 2 weeks' time to inspect your new tools, hoping they will be more satisfactory. Moragtong spread quietly throughout the Tamriel in the early years of the Second Era, treating Mephala and Sithis with blood. They've always done. The Moragtong assassinated the Emperor Raymond in the year 2920 in the First Era, and his successor, Pontinet Versidu. Shay in the 324th year of the Second Era, the assassins, so long in the shadows, were suddenly thrust in the light. Become brazen drunk with murder, literally painting the words Moragtong on the walls in the Ponitent's blood. The Moragtong was instantly and unanimously outlawed in all corners of Tamriel, having its own province of Morrowind, where they continue to operate with the blessing of the houses, and then cutting off all contact with their satellite brothers to the west. They continue their quasi-legal existence, accepting black writs and murdering with impunity. So it is believed that the birth of the Dark Brotherhood, the secular murder-for-profit order of assassins, is the result of the religious schism in the Moragtong. In the secrecy of both cults, it is difficult to define the exact nature of it, but certain logical assumptions can be made. In order to exist, the Moragtong must have appealed to the highest power in Morrowind, which at that time, the Second Era, could only have been the tribunal of Malexia, Sosasil, and Vivek. Mephala, whom the Tong worshipped with Sithis, said to have been the anticipation of Vivek. Is it not logical to assume that in exchange for toleration of their continued existence, the Tong would have ceased their worship of Mephala in exchange for the worship of Vivek? Moragtong continues, as we know, to worship Sithis. The Dark Brotherhood is not considered a religious order by most, merely a secular organization, doing murder for gold. I have seen our proof positive in the form of the writs to the Brotherhood that Sithis is still revered above all. The reader asks is the cause of the schism. How could a silent war begun when the groups are so close? The Assassin's Guilds, after all, worship Sithis. And yet a figure emerges from history who should give those with this assumption pause. The Night Mother. Night Mother is where she came from, what her functions are, no one knows. Kalvik Tonaway, in his generally well-researched historical fiction 2920, the last year of the First Era, tries to make her the leader of the Moragtong. She is never historically associated with the Tong, only the Dark Brotherhood. Her mother, my dear friend, is Mephala. The Dark Brotherhood of the West, unfettered by the orders of the Tribunal, continue to worship Mephala. Not colored by name, but the danger of murder, sex, and secrets. So lead us still, and they did not, and still do not, to this day, forgive their brethren for casting her aside. Kalvik met its end in the Second Era, who saw no end in the war between the Brotherhood and the Tong, was correct. Should the Empire, the Brothers of Death, remain locked in combat, will likely remain that way forever. Coffee. Steady Hands by Drolo Givaris, Apostle of Sosasil. I looked upon my hands and I saw only flaws, wrinkling, weak things. They shook when I needed them steady, they ached when the nights grew cold. Began to depend on my princess for many of my daily needs, more useless than a babe clinging to his mother's skirt. Even the simple task of feeding myself began to turn into a sloppy affair. I have aware these constant tremors of this pathetically human imperfection is forced upon me, but the brass fortress is the hub of innovation and of the defective turned useful once more. Modifications are made when a mechanism is in need of new function. Time had sundered my once steady hands with my still working mind. I did it not for vanity, but to cleanse myself of my putrid separation. To weld my broken parts together, the priesthood was as painlessly sufficient as I had been promised. The price that was asked, I expected no less. Slept on and off for hours afterward, my mind filled with steam, and when I woke, truly awoke. I caught sight of my gleaming palms, suddenly felt at peace, calm, tranquil. Once more a cog upon which to me the great winding. Another reciprocating motion, the sublime piston, this metal extension, was the truth of my soul, brass fingers curved in perfect synchrony, smooth and elegant. I was not simply made whole again, no. I was made far greater than I had ever been, gestalt. I had found a truth of singularity. I transcended mere flesh and blood. Fingers now remained steady and shares my devotion. I looked upon my hands and I saw the possibilities. I don't know about you, but I would actually do this, I guess. Is that like a... Is this like a mini Clockwork City in the Clockwork City? Yeah, I know it's just a dome, but... Truth and Sequence, Volume 7, taken from the sermons of Dildris Mervyn, 4th Turbulin, the mainspring ever wound. By the word, I wind the gears. Think now on the wheel to all things that it pertains. Is there anything so sacred as a wheel, like Tamriel final? The wheel both moves and does not move. I know it in sea. The axle sleeps, while the spokes make haste round and reflective circles. Now here dwells the nameless secret child of the tribunal. Does the thing move when it moves in circles? Motion, yes. Motion lies at the heart of the neuron ensuing, but not all motion is nameless, and all movement earns his blessing. A metronome calls the first motion the motion of lines. Line motion is the motion of simple minds. The motion of weak wills and scholars' vanity. Forward, it cries. Forward to the fruits of cheap ambition. Forward to the promise of everlasting kingdoms. Forward to the mirage that the sages call progress. Misguided pioneers venture out into the wild tomorrows, and the tomorrows of that, certain their worth, their virtue. Prophets of man and learn to gaze deep into a single feature. And the mortals are narrow, far too narrow. To move forward is to ignore infinite angles in favor of one. It is the act of a beast or a child. The clockwork god spurns vanity in the guise of courage. These explorers travelers only lead them farther from Tamriel final avenue of sea. Set speaks of the second motion when he whispers. The pendulum, or named oscillation, is a tick-tock motion. The motion of entropy and false hope. The clockwork god may claim its dark power. With each wide swing, it shouts Lorcan's lies. Hail, intentions divided. Hail, cursed multitudes. Stand in the pendulum's path, as child. When swing ever wound may bear its weight. G1. Welcome. To me, there's something pop up over there. Right, the last is a ripple motion. The sublime piston. The lover's embrace, like the father of mystery, gives and takes in equal measures. As the bow upon the strings calls forth the sublime. Tremors saw it wrenches back and forth, sundering the named pursuits of Lessemer. The nameless heart may harness its strength. Artists, the star counter, and the engineer call it muse. The truth-blind multitudes call it destroyer. Do you see now, child of the tribunal? Every movement hides intent. Serving the wheel is also a man in the clockwork god. You know, final shall spin and only spin, avenue C. By the word, I wind the gears. Okay, that's all one. This is an operating table. Let me find a salesman. Wait, why is this in here? Three allies who people rarely agree on anything, the usual lines. By a cantor of Shimane, so barrage of indoctrination. The races as diverse as anything within the world. I mean, not really. Bosmer are kind of similar. Three races, or Bosmer are, the descendants of Elliot or whatever. Three states at war for their very lives, but unable to reconcile the differences in moments of peace. Allies, but less than friends, and that must change. Enemies beset on many sides, even our pact and the Daggerfall Covenant attack us from the outside. But we have our other enemies far more deadly and far more dangerous to our alliance than those external foes. Wartime bonds are to remain strong, we must forge relationship and alliances in peace. Bosmer hunters must provide food for civilians as well as their soldiers. Okajiti traders must provide goods as well as weapons. And Almari wizards must spend the magic of wise to win the peace as well as the war. First step is to join together in celebration as one of our alliance members. The Bosmer renews their divine pact with a joining between the two spiritual leaders, the Sylvanar and the Green Lady. Let all members of Almari Dominion recognize this wedding and participate in the revels that follow. As wishes to the Sylvanar, the Green Lady, and the Bosmer people, the new generation knows strength, peace as well as war.
So, ready to do a bit of sleuthing?
I already did that with
I'm
Thunderboots.
confident that we can find this elusive evidence, but it will require some skullduggery. Breaking and entering, to be specific. Ready for the details?
I'll be ready for the next time, though, so, you know the city, you know what to do. See ya.